A couple of days ago, the news broke that Hillary Clinton was firing shots at Bernie Sanders. And she said she doesn't know if she can support him even in a general election. Even if it's Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump one-on-one, she said she doesn't know if she could support him. And she also went on to say, quote, "Nobody likes him." She said he's a career politician and he's like duping people, and she feels bad for people who are falling for his whole shtick. I mean, there's a lot there, and most of it is hilarious and annoying at the same time. But Hillary Clinton accusing somebody else of being a career politician is rich. Because Hillary and Bill, over the course of their careers, they've raised, I forget the exact number, but I know it was billions of dollars. I'm not sure if it was over $1 billion or $3 billion between both of them. And of course, this is money coming from corporate PACs, for example. This is money coming from wealthy donors. Bernie Sanders raises his money through small dollar donations. So even though he's been a politician for a very long time, in many ways, he's like the exact kind of Washington outsider you would want to lead the country, because he's not part of the swamp. He doesn't play the swamp game. He's not corrupt. He has his principles, he has his policy positions, and he fights for them. In the case of Hillary, I mean, it's all for sale. There's video of, Hillary Clinton taking both sides on virtually every issue going back over the course of her career. And that's not a coincidence. That has a lot to do with the corrupting influence of big money in politics. So for her to say he's a career politician, I mean, welcome to the Twilight Zone, welcome to Bizarro World. That's not a criticism Hillary Clinton can levy against anybody. So, but to the idea of, well, I'm not sure I could support him in a general election. Okay, well, you talk all the time about unity, and how the Democrats and the left needs to come together to defeat the big bad Republicans, and you just proved that game is what we knew it was all along. You just proved that it's a ruse, that when centrist candidates, when corporatists talk about unity, what they mean is, hey, if you're on the left, shut up and fall in line and vote for the centrist Democrat because it's as good as you're going to get. That's what you mean when you talk about unity. So it doesn't cut the other direction. If a lefty wins a primary, all of a sudden you're like, I don't know if I can support him in a general. Oh, okay, so you don't care about unity at all, and in fact, the driving force in your politics, apart from the corruption, is a belief in centrism and corporate neoliberalism. So, listen, bottom line is, I'm not even mad about that aspect of it. They disagree with us. They're centrists. They have a totally different ideology. That's fine. But let's be honest and upfront about what our beliefs are and how that informs our strategy. So, just don't tell people to unify. Don't tell people to shut up and fall in line because you're not going to do it. You say you're not going to do it. You know that makes you a hypocrite, but you don't care because for you it really is more about the corrupting influence of big money and how you think that should be part of the system and your neoliberal ideology. So I wouldn't have a problem with that if you just weren't a hypocrite and were honest and upfront with it. And if you said to the left, hey, in the last election, everybody who decided they wanted to vote for Jill Stein, who am I to browbeat them? Who am I to tell them you got to fall in line and support me? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. If they don't agree with me, why would they support me? If they don't like me as a candidate, why would they come out to vote at all? Some people, went for Jill Stein. Some people went for Gary Johnson. Some people stayed home. The overwhelming majority of Bernie voters in the 2016 primary did end up voting for Hillary in the general election. But spare me the sanctimonious garbage when they look down at everybody on the left who has standards and principles, and they're like, you better fall in line because of unity. Beating the right is the most important thing. Unless, of course, the lefty wins the primary, in which case all that's out the window, and I say, no, I'm not sure I can unify. Now, Bernie responded to Hillary saying, nobody likes you, Bernie, by saying, that's not true. On a good day, my wife likes me. That's what Bernie said. Then Hillary responded to Bernie saying that, or actually this was more of a response to the, just the outcry of outrage against Hillary. People were like, wow, so you are a hypocrite and you don't believe in unity. And then she comes out on Twitter and says, quote, I thought everyone wanted my authentic, unvarnished views. But to be serious, the number one priority of our country and world is retiring Trump. And as I always have, I will do whatever I can to support our nominee. Now that's interesting because it's a contradiction. Which is your, authentic, unvarnished views? You just said before, no, I'm not sure I could back him in a general election, and I don't like him, and nobody likes him. That's what you said, and now you're saying, hey, I'm just giving my authentic, unvarnished views, but okay, I'll support him. But were the authentic views that you're not going to support him, or you don't want to support him, or are the authentic views that you're going to support him? You see what I'm saying? So somehow, even after her political career is over, she is still managing to flip-flop and contradict herself. It's kind of amazing, isn't it? I mean, that's stunning. There was no, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I'll say the thing everybody wants me to say, but I'm also going to semi-double down by saying I was just giving my authentic, unvarnished views. Well, again, then which one is it? Now, listen. Bernie's response. I spoke about this a few times already, but I wanted to bring it up in a standalone segment. I would have been a little more aggressive. Now, I understand the counter-argument now. The counter-argument is, and I think Corin did a good job of making the counter-argument to me on Kyle and Corin, where he was saying, listen, man, she's really disliked. That's true. And people see what she's doing here for what it is. They see that it's, really petty, and it's a high school-like thing to say, and she comes across as not good here. So everybody sees that, everybody acknowledges that, and for Bernie to almost stay above the fray and be like, I'm not even going to acknowledge it. I'll make a joke and say, my wife likes me on good days. That actually verifies what he's been doing with his campaign all along, namely hey, I'm the issues dude. I'm the policy dude. You want to actually improve your life? Come vote for me. You want to actually, get Medicare for all and free college and a living wage and ending the wars and legalizing marijuana, so on and so forth, all these great policy positions? You come to me. So there's an argument to be made for, I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to get in the gutter. I'm going to be above the fray, and everybody's going to recognize what Hillary's doing here, and all of everybody's anger will be directed at her. I perhaps wasn't seeing that perspective in the initial aftermath of this, but I do see that that's very possible now. I wouldn't be surprised if we see polling conducted after this Hillary thing and Bernie goes up even more. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a 2 or 3 point bump from this as well. By the way, a new round of polls did come out, but I'm not sure if they were commissioned after the Hillary thing, and Bernie is doing really well. He's got a giant lead in New Hampshire, which is awesome, and he's got a 3-point lead nationally on Joe Biden. So again, work's not done. Super Tuesday is going to be a huge issue. We got to work. But there was a good round of polls. I just don't think it came after the Hillary Clinton thing. But, the thing I initially wanted Bernie to do, and still part of me wanted Bernie to do in the aftermath of Hillary saying this, is just a devastating one-liner. I don't need lectures on likability from somebody with a 36% approval. Could have said that. Could have said, well, if she doesn't like me, I wonder why did she want me to campaign for 37 times? Said something like that. She lost to Donald Trump. I will be beating Donald Trump. Something like that. Just all I wanted was a little sign of fight in Bernie. And the reason why I say that is actually very simple. That's what Trump did that worked. Now you can make arguments, okay, the Republicans and the Democrats are different, so on and so forth. Fine, make that argument if you want to make that argument. I'm not sure I buy that. I think his strength could work. But that's what Trump did. Every time a GOP establishment goon came at Trump, He flipped it back on them and punched them in the face, and it worked. And the reason it worked is nobody likes the Republican establishment. Now, by the same token, nobody likes the Democratic establishment. Nobody does. Nobody does. A group of idiots on Wall Street and a group of idiots in D.C. who are part of the club. Only members of the club like the club. So, if you punch those people in the face, it helps you. But he didn't do it. So, it is what it is. He took the high road. I hope it helps him either way. My initial instinct is you got to fight back a little bit. But this also does say something about Hillary's worldview, which is, she says nobody likes him. He's literally the most popular senator in the country. A poll just came out like a week before she made these comments that show yet again, for guys, the 11th time in a row, he's the most popular senator in the country. So when she says, oh, nobody likes him, what does she mean? She means people in her social circle, people in the club. So she doesn't consider people outside of the club to really be people, because she says, well, nobody likes him. Nobody that matters to you. So all, the working people, all his broad, diverse coalition, working class, diverse coalition, all those people, unions, anti-war activists, environmental activists, nobody likes them because they don't really count, do they? That says a lot, man. And Bernie should welcome the fact that those people don't like him. That's a good thing. That means he's doing good stuff in Washington. That he doesn't get along with the worst ghouls on the planet. And furthermore, look at Hillary's friends. Her and Bill and Jeffrey Epstein, like, oh, nobody likes him? Wow, I guess he doesn't hang out at, like, the pedo island. And the final thing is, Hillary, I don't want you to campaign for him. And I actually don't want you to endorse him either. I'm fine with you not endorsing and not campaigning with him. I would prefer that. But the thing that I do want is for you to get out of the way. Get out of the way. That's all we could ask of Hillary Clinton. Don't endorse him. Don't campaign for him. Just get out of the way. Because, I'm sure everybody had the hunch if Hillary gets involved, she's only going to get involved to try to throw a wrench into his momentum. And that's exactly what's happening. So all we want is for you to go into the woods where you were for a while and just stay there permanently. That's all we want. Just go into the woods, chill out. You don't want to go to the woods? Fine. Go to a beach in Costa Rica, sip a margarita. Let the, 78 degrees, let the wind gently hit your face. You got a smile on your face. You make sure Bill doesn't wander around to the kiddie pool. Listen, that's all we want. We do not want anything extra. We just want the process to unfold as it's supposed to unfold. No more rigging primaries. No more, trying to throw a wrench into what the people want, what the voters want. That's all we asked for. So when she came out and she was like, well, I was just being authentic, but okay, fine, I'll support whoever the nominee is. I actually was thinking no. The part that I most objected to in her original comments was nobody likes him. That's the part that I was like, you're just wrong and you're ridiculous and you have a 36% approval rating and he's the most popular senator in the country. So who really isn't liked? I believe you're the one who's not liked by actual people at this point in time. So that was the part that drove me nuts. The part about I'm not sure I could support him. That's fine. That's fine. I really think that the establishment is a paper tiger and she's the representative of the establishment. She's the representative of the status quo. So we don't need the backing of a paper tiger. We just don't. So anyway, that's my breakdown of this whole thing. I wish Bernie was a little bit more aggressive. But, a couple days removed from the back and forth, you get the sense that he does come out of it looking like a bigger person and looking like he took the high road. And his little quip about, my wife likes me on a good day, people are going to go, See, he's like the good guy. He's the serious guy. He cares about the issues, and she's so petty, and she cares. She's like all into this personal drama and whatnot. And it really does come across as pathetic, But again, I guess you could say in this instance, they're lucky I wasn't running Bernie's campaign because I would have heavily advised him to hit her with a devastating one-liner and just move on. That's what I would have said. And we have another story coming up in a second that I think is a good example of my philosophy in action and why I think the philosophy I'm advocating for is better, even though it may have been a net win that he said what he said in response to Hillary.